What is up, YouTube? This is Gilbert Lala Lakers with Dizzy Gaming here to bring you another video. And in this one, I'm going to talk about another couple of pro players from SKT Telecom T1. If you want to watch the last video, which was on Piglet's, you know, struggling start to his NA LCS career, you can check that out in the annotation that I linked. So, with this one, I wanted to talk about something that's really been bugging me and something I've been really anxious to talk about on this channel, and that's SKT's Easyhoon Faker situation in the mid lane. So, in case you don't know, this season, because Riot changed their rules where teams are no longer allowed to have sister teams, this system was obviously very prominent in the Korean OGN Championship Series. I guess it's not called League of Legends Champions Korea now, or the LCK. It's really it really hurt the infrastructure of most teams where they had, these two teams pretty much per organization that competed, and they would have like an A and a B squad, and sometimes the B would rise above and overtake the A squad. It was really interesting. That's actually how we got our Season 3 champions. Was they SKT as an organization built a team around Faker, who was an up-and-coming solo queue player, and then obviously we know the rest of the story. So that being said, with the rule changes, teams have been forced to combine. We saw a lot of players leave the LCK for the LPL, the NALCS, the EULCS, and it's pretty interesting the turn it's taken with that new rule change. One of the most interesting things that I've noticed about that is that the SKT Telecom organization has decided to kind of alternate their mid laner. Now, obviously, if you're a fan of League of Legends, at least a competitive League of Legends scene, you probably know who Faker is. He's widely regarded as one of the, if not the best player in the world, whether that's mechanical, just individual play in total. That's all up to personal opinion. I personally do feel that he is the greatest player in the world that we have for League of Legends as an individual. And that's why the situation really bugs me. So the way it is right now, they usually have Easyhoon. At the beginning of the season, they kind of went Faker, Easyhoon, and then if it's a game 3, they went back to Faker. Now they've decided, I believe, to kind of maintain a different set where they have Easyhoon start game 1, and then Faker game 2, and then Faker in a possible game 3 for their mid laner position. They also do substitutions as well as other teams for different positions. I'm just going to talk about the mid lane for this one because it's really kind of a hot topic right now. So with that format, you have Faker playing at the minimum of 50% of your games. At the best, 66% of your games for that day. In my opinion, I find that absolutely astounding that a team can come to that decision. So, a couple of things I want to talk about. A lot of people are bringing up the fact that Easyhoon is actually having a much better season statistically. I actually have the statistics right here. I'm going to bring them up for you. Let's see here. So we have Easyhoon. He is currently at an 8.2 average KDA ratio for his total games, averaging 373 gold per minute. And I'm getting all this information off the lolesports.com website. I'll go ahead and link it in the description below if you want to check it out yourself. And his average total gold tends to be about 15k. His currently most played champion is Xerath. He has also played Kassadin and Lulu. Now for Faker, he has an average KDA of 2.8, an average gold per minute of 393, and a total gold of 14k for his averages in his games. His most played champion is also Xerath. He has also played Ezreal and Syndra. So right now, SK Telecom is currently sitting at a 3-3 record series-wise in the LCK, not living up to total expectations, and a lot of people are attributing it to possibly the decline of Faker or Easyhoon, taking over the spotlight and kind of trying to carry this team. I personally feel that the statistics are not a huge indicator of the best possible mid laner for SKT. I feel they are in a very kind of tough situation. They have a very talented up and coming mid laner like Easyhoon that has not only surpassed probably his expectations from a general standpoint, but also he seems to be outplaying one of the best players in the world at his position on the same team, nonetheless. He has improved on his champion pool. He was known to play more of the safer champions, and although he has, for the most part, played Xerath and Lulu, which are, towards his tendency, he has also played Kassadin game, which he played fairly decent on. Although they did pick up the loss, he seems to have a little bit bigger champion pool than maybe people anticipated. Obviously, once again, though, I go back and you compare it to Faker, who has a limitless champion pool. I legitimately think that any champion that can possibly be played in the mid lane at the highest level, he has him not only down, but also to the point where he has mastered the champion for the most part. So it's really a struggle for me to see where SKT is coming from a management standpoint, or a coaching standpoint, I guess, more specifically, a coaching standpoint, to not want to play the best player in the world, arguably, in his position every single game that you have the opportunity. It really feels to me, and not only with SKT on this point, but it really feels to me that they are forcing substitutions. Now, the reason I say this is because it doesn't seem that there is a tendency with their substitutions. It's not, I mean, they have that pattern going on right now with Easyhoon game 1, Faker, Faker. But I'm more talking about a matchup. Now, if you watch this channel at all, you know that I make quite a few comparisons to basketball. And once again, I do see a comparison here. In basketball, you kind of, for the most part, you have a starting five, similar to League. You have 5 different positions, players that play those positions, etc. But at times, you do see that coaches kind of go on the fly. For example, if you have a taller, 7-foot center, which is a bigger player in basketball terms, usually the big men, they usually are not very, I don't want to say athletic, because a lot of them are still very athletic for their size, but they tend to struggle against more fast-paced games, more fast-paced basketball games, because not only is it more weight to carry around, but they're more used to using their strength, utilizing their strengths, not only physical strength, but also, closer to the basket, having that height advantage. So what teams do, let's say you have a player like that, a good big man, but you're going against a team that is amazing at a really run and gun, fast-paced offense, that for a fact your player is not going to be able to keep up 48 minutes. What you do is you make a substitution and cater to the matchup, and you plan it out beforehand is pretty much what I'm saying. You make strategical substitutions instead of just saying, oh, well, I think what's today, Tuesday? Let's throw him out there. I don't really see how they expect that strategy to work, honestly. In my opinion, if you have the best player, arguably, in the world, you play him every single game that you can. Some people are trying to say that Easyhoon is the greater player. I personally don't believe so, and I think a lot of people are with me with that opinion. There is a small group that says Easyhoon should start. But I feel that part of the reason why SKT is struggling as a team, but also Faker is struggling as an individual, is because he is not getting that consistent playing time. League of Legends is very synergy based. The reason that teams like Samsung White can dominate worlds, like SKT did back in Season 3, or like TPA did even in Season 2, was because that they had that team synergy. They bonded once they get onto Summoner's Rift, and they become one moving unit of 5 different pieces, or 5 different individual players. And I don't really see how you can expect that when you're alternating a player in arguably the most important position as well in League, in the mid lane. One game here, one game there. One game here, one game there. And it just doesn't make sense to me. These games matter. Like, these the LCK has already launched. They're 3-3 in the standings currently. I don't know how many series per season there are. I want to say there's 16. So 3-3, you're already off to a very, very mediocre start. These are games that matter. This season is going to determine points that are given to the teams, and those points are what determines which team goes to the World Championship. So why wouldn't you take every single game like it is the most important? Because I'm sure you've heard that saying before. Treat every game like it's the championship. Because if you give it your all, especially in a sport or an esport like League of Legends where it doesn't take as much physical assertion, it's more mental. Give it all you can for that hour that you're playing that game for that day, or those games for that day, a couple hours, because it matters. It matters in the long run. It may seem, oh, well, 3-3 start, we can win the next 10 and we'll be fine. We'll be completely fine. We'll be 10-3. Well, yeah, that's okay in theory, but realistically, when has a team won 10 straight series, let alone in a league as competitive as the LCK or OGN is? So I really don't see what they are trying to do. I feel they are trying to force um, Easyhoon into the lineup when realistically, I don't know if he's kind of earned it yet. It's not like he is playing out of his mind. Granted, he has one of the best KDA ratios, uh, but if you actually watch like the games, although he is putting up good KDA numbers and good statistics, the team as a whole doesn't seem to be on the same page at times. He's in the back shooting off damage, and his team is struggling in other positions, and he doesn't seem to be able to make that impact that Faker was able to make, when he was on his game, or what some people like myself still feel that he can if he gets the proper playing time. I definitely think that this is going to be something that we are going to see change with future team strategies. I do think that eventually in the future, these substitutes aren't just going to be extra bodies to throw in there to kind of try out, or hey, let's play him and him today for no reason whatsoever other than maybe it's cloudy, or they are wearing the color purple. It's just, I feel they're taking the wrong approach to it. They need to substitute with more of a goal in mind instead of just substituting for no reason. So I really hope that the SKT situation can be fixed. I really feel that maybe a trade of Easyhoon for another player would be beneficial. Maybe a player in a different position where you don't have an 18-year-old superstar. Maybe you can get a jungler that they want to, even if it's someone younger with more potential, you can still have him substitute in for Bengi every once in a while, and it's not going to be so detrimental, in my opinion, than subbing out arguably the best player in the world that you happen to have on your team. So yeah, guys, I really hope that I made sense in this video. I know it was kind of a little bit over the place, but it's something that I really feel that SKT is struggling with at the moment, and is a major factor to their kind of underwhelming start to the LCK season. So yeah, guys, thanks you guys for watching once again. My name is Gilbert, Lala Lakers with Dizzy Gaming. Be on the lookout for more videos like this in the future. If you want to check out a couple past videos that have been posted on the channel already, you can do so in the annotations I have linked. And yeah, thanks for watching once again. Information in the description if you want to check it out. Giveaway at 100 subscribers, and remember to stay competitive.